because remember, Nanaka's wish granting is not as magical as it appears to be. Unlike the sponsor of today's video, Crystal of Atlan. Crystal of Atlan is a superb Magipunk MMORPG packed with fast-paced combat where players can choose from 11 classes completely freely with no gacha. Just unique skills and lots of versatile customizable builds, and so far I'm personally really enjoying the Puppeteer. The attacks are just so satisfying and exhilarating, but I'm also really keen to check out the fighter next. Although I might have to wait on that because there is something much more exciting coming up, which is the upcoming update featuring a One Punch Man crossover. And as insanely desperate as I am for Season 3 of One Punch Man, this is looking pretty damn cool as well. What you're looking at right now is the PV for the first major update released at Summer Game Fest. Just look at that. That's the balls. Still to this day, my favorite One Punch Man villain. Or victim, whatever you call anyone who ends up fighting Saitama. And speaking of, there is the man himself. And mate, it looks like the Doctor is lucky in the game as well. Very, very cultured choice. And I believe that this update is coming out in late June. That's quite soon, so stay tuned. So you can and should download Crystal of Atlan using my link in the description, available on iOS, Google Play, PC, and PlayStation 5, with 7-day login reward, including a free outfit on day 2 and a free pet on day 3. And also, please use the code COATeamup528 for even more amazing goodness just for you. So definitely check it out. I've been having a lot of fun with it so far. But for now, it's back to you. When the Zoldyck attendant Yasuha wished to become a millionaire, Nanaka didn't just create $1 million out of nothing. Instead, what Nanaka had to do was take control over drawing and transporting at least $1 million and have it dump that money where Yasuha was standing. As insane of an ability as it is, there is some logic to it. Almost as if Nanaka can't actually create, but only manipulate. And when we apply this to Gon, the idea becomes that there did exist a mechanism on this planet that could have, quote, healed him, and Nanaka just had to find and implement it. So what is the thing it is? Well, firstly, I should point out that Jin confirms Gon had aura when they were talking together at the top of the world. So Gon's net hasn't vanished. It's more like he's been locked out of using it. Jin also says that Gon has been returned back to, quote, normal. However, there is also a scrapped future ending by Yoshihiro Togashi where it's implied that Gon did retain aura use. Togashi's rejected ending D for Hunter x Hunter implies that Gon did eventually manage to wield aura once more and kept having adventures as a hunter well into his old age. So many that his granddaughter got annoyed at him for always leaving her grandmother Noko alone, and it more or less confirms that there is a mechanism to access N1, or at least there was at one stage, because again it was a scrapped ending. However, this ending was written with the Chimera Antark in mind, so it was constructed knowing about that ending. However, if Gon was still subject to the power of giving up Nana's Pito's perspective, then this would be impossible. Vows and restrictions are taken with the utmost seriousness in this world. They cannot be broken, and their consequences are unavoidable. Therefore, if Gon's lack of aura use was a result of his vow, there is no chance he could ever get it back. However, even if the impossible could happen, and the result of Nanaka's power was to undo the vow, then that doesn't make a lot of sense, because there should be no reason that Gon shouldn't be able to use aura at the moment. Meaning the conclusion I've come to for the sake of this video is that Nanaka did not reset Gon or necessarily erase the vow, but instead had to augment it with something else. And Gon's current state is a result of a complex series of decisions and restrictions placed upon him by being from the Dark Continent, with access to a range of options that humanity can't even begin to dream of. Definitely narrow it down, because Nanaka is the Dark Continent's Calamity Eye, referred to as the codependence of desire. So it's implied that I cannot, or at least it prefers not to exist without a host. Without a host, it is very, very vulnerable, but when it finds its perfect host, it is unstoppable. And one of the reasons why Nanaka is already considered worthy is because at face value it's very counter to everything we've been presented in Hunter x Hunter, which is that there must always be a price to gain power. Whereas in the chairman election arc, Nanaka meeting Killor's requests does serve as a pretty blatant Deus Ex Machina, like old Shakespearean tales where the gods would descend to the sky and this would fix all of the bad things for a happy ending. But as we've already explored, there must be a cost for everything. As much as it looks like it, there was no finger snap, and Killor wasn't specific with how Nanaka had to heal Gon. So one way to achieve Gon's current state of godliness might be to do what I do best and form a codependence. Maybe plant an eye into Gon and form its own little symbiotic system. The eye cannot exist without a host, and Gon cannot exist without an eye. And I often make this assumption that I probably shouldn't, but I have a tendency to assume that all of the eye function the same way. Eye isn't just one being, it's an entire species, and I've always assumed that they were all capable of the wish granting